And we are live. What's good? It's your man DL Saint. Welcome to the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. Man, I'm glad y'all are back. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Y'all know what it is. I'm sitting here trying to do the sound check. We are good. Part two. Y'all know how we get down. You know what I mean? We in the grind. You gotta get out here and hustle every day. But this show right here, this one's special. This one's near and dear to my heart, man, because the brother we're gonna be talking to today, we come from the same soil. We come from the same city. You know what I mean? Our lives parallel in a sense, but you'll see when we get into the conversation why this is again one of the reasons why I have this platform, yo. This is one of the reasons I had this platform for these conversations right here. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they'll look at me and they'll like, oh, man, you know, you made it. You know what I mean? Most people don't make it. You're such a rare breed. And it's like, nah, it's more of us. It's a lot more of us. And I don't mean just brothers who look like we like from the same place, doing the same things, finding ourselves at a level that I personally never thought I would make. And I'm looking forward to hearing what my man has to say. You know what I mean? Brother Jason's in the house. What's good, fam? I see you. And Sister Candace also is in the house. My day one's always here, always making it happen. What's good, love? Good evening to you. Y'all know I normally have notes and videos and all kind of stuff set up. You know what I mean? We're going to do something, but this is just going to be a conversation. You know what I mean? From two brothers who made it happen. You know what I mean? So without dragging this out any further, let me introduce to you the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Bryan Boggs in the house, everybody. What's good, fam?
What's happening, brother?
What's good? Doing? Man, I can't complain. You know what I mean? I'm doing great to keep it 100. You know what I mean? Because especially doing that monologue, man, I'm thinking about my days on Glenwood, my days out there in Avondale. I'm doing great.
That's a fact, man. I think about my days on Williamsburg and City View Circle.
Ooh, that's City View.
In the struggle.
Got a West Sider up in here. Here's the East Side and the West Side sitting up in here. Y'all don't even know what it means.
Already.
So listen, bro, I know who you are. You know what I mean? I know what you're about. But you got to tell the world, bro. Tell the world who you are, man.
Okay, well, I'm Bryan Boggs. I'm one half of Deconflicted Podcast, born and raised Cincinnati, Ohio, from the West Side, Fay Apartments. I grew up on Williamsburg Drive, and then moved to City View Circle. When I graduated high school, left the city, came back for college, left the city again, figured it was more to life than what I was seeing. And boy, was I right. Man. Boy, was he right. You know what I mean? And the folks who ain't from the night, you know what I'm saying? Y'all understand, like, this brother right here, he from the Fay. You know what I mean? The hilltop hard heads, like, and I can say that because I got family up there. I didn't did, little something up there on the Fay. I know where Williamsburg is. That wasn't soft either, man. Come on now.
And now look, yeah, man, I'm A1 Glenwood, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, Avondale is Avondale.
Yeah, Avondale is Avondale. You know what I'm saying?
Avondale is Avondale. Respect to all them streets back there. You know what I mean? Shout out to all the hoods, Bond Hill, Kennedy Heights. You know what I'm saying? Right. Madisonville. You know what I mean? Like I said, the Fay, Moosewood, Millville, Winton Terrace. I don't even know if all them places still there. You know what I mean? Shout out to all of them, man. It was plenty of drama to go around for such a small city. Trust me when I tell you, the middle, downtown, you know what I'm saying? Lower homes, you know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of these places ain't even there no more.
Lincoln Court's gone.
Oh, Lincoln Court's. Yeah, Lincoln Court's gone. You know what I mean? So the reason I'm so excited to have this conversation, man, is like I said, we come from the same soil, man. You know, we know each other people. Like we So when you say you left high school and then you left, man, what'd you do when you left the first time?
The first time I left, big shout out to my boy Sam Brown. He was the one that came to me because originally I was going to try to go to college, go to UC right out of high school. And he talked to me about the Army. So I was like, you know what? I could do it for a little bit. So I signed up for 2 years, ended up doing 25.
You know, doing 20. How did you get a 2-year enlistment, bro? Because we were in around the same time. I went in 90. What year did you go in?
I went in 91. And
how did you get a 2-year enlistment?
So when I took the ASVAB, my GT score was real high. I had a 125 GT score. So they were like, man, you can do anything you want in the Army. I said, look, man, I'll do anything as long as I get a 2-year enlistment in the Army College Fund. And Air Defense Artillery was it. So Air Defense Artillery Stinger Missile Avenger, Combat MOS. I signed up for that for 2 years. And then when I was in, I made the boxing team, and then I just got paid to work out. So I re-enlisted for 3 more.
Wow. And where were you stationed mostly?
I was stationed at Fort Carson the whole time I was in garrison. So I did basic training out of Fort Leonard Wood, AIT out of Fort Bliss. And then I was at Fort Carson from January 92 to December 96.
Carson, that's Kansas, right?
No, Colorado.
That's Colorado. Okay. I never, because I enlisted, I did basic training at Fort Dix. Then I went to Alabama for AIT. AIT is just military slang for advanced training. Yeah. And I went to Fort Rucker for that, Air Traffic Control School. From there, I went to Fort Benning for airborne school, and then I went to Bragg, and that was it. So I got there at night. I went to Bragg, and I got deployed forward. You know what I mean? I went downrange for Desert Storm, and then I came back. So by the time you got in, I was rotating back and was just doing that thing. Man, what were your thoughts on the Army, bro?
I'm gonna be honest. I had some fun. First, let me say that.
Yeah, I know you did. Fun. On the boxing team? Yeah, I already know.
I had fun. But from a professional piece, for me, and this ain't for everybody, everybody's different. But me, I'm a free thinker, and I don't allow people to dictate how I think. So being in the Army was a little more difficult for me. I didn't really get promoted. I got Article 15 twice. They wanted to kick me out just because I couldn't be the dumb dude.
Couldn't be the dumb dude. And like I say, man, this brother from the Fae. This is a whole nother kind of thing jumping on. But I understand that, man. I understand that because, I wanted to be a paratrooper my whole life as a little kid. That's all I really wanted to do. Jobs and all that. I didn't know anything about all that. Even though I had 2 cousins that were both in the Army. My cousin Dave was airborne. And I was right there when they left. They enlisted a couple years before me, and I would look at everything and all, check everything out. And his brother Chris, they both enlisted. All of us. Well, I know Chris and I wound up in Desert Storm, and then Chris came through at some point. But then my cousin Dave actually wound up being stationed at Bragg. It was just like a little light overlap. But I knew I wanted to be airborne. But once I got in, I realized the money just wasn't right. Like I'm looking at what I'm doing. I'm like, man, I'm risking my life and I love what I'm doing. But like my 4th year, E4 promotable couldn't get E5 because the cutoff scores were so high. We were top heavy. Right. I was making $1,041 a month, and that included jump pay. That included jump pay, bro.
I remember those lean years myself, man. I never made it past E4. I think the most I ever made was $1,200 a month.
See, you're making more than me. Making more than me. Like I remember that last LES. I'm like, man, like this is it. You know what I mean? And I knew. I'm like, you know what? This is a great life for me. I wasn't. I was like, well, if I re-enlist, in order to get E5, I was gonna have to go to Ranger School because there was something in the regs that stated if you complete Ranger School, you will be promoted to E5 if you're not an E5. If you're E4 promotable, you will be promoted. And I'm like, man, that's the only way I'm going to have to go. So, like, if I'm going to do that, I got to change my whole mindset. Like, I'm already thinking I'm hood, but when you start talking about Ranger, you start looking at, the Green Berets, you start really looking at that life. You got to get your head right for that because that, you know what I mean? It don't stop. You know what I mean? It don't
stop, and you got to be mentally tough.
Yes, extremely tough. You're going to put your body through it. So, and again, the money wasn't that much better. You know what I mean? It's like, and this now the pay is way different now. The world in the military has changed, but back then it hadn't changed yet. So I'm like, nah, I'm not. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna figure this out. Like I'm gonna go to college. And you got the Army College Fund, and I did not. All I had was the Montgomery GI Bill.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I know you. I know. Man, how come you didn't? Did you know about it, or they just didn't offer it to you for the MOS you picked?
They didn't offer for the MOS I picked, and they knew I didn't care. I just wanted to be airborne. They knew I didn't care. So the only thing I wanted was airborne training guaranteed with my enlistment. Had I asked for it, I would have gotten it. But I just didn't know, and they weren't good. They weren't offering like, we got this dude. You know, they like to hold on to that good stuff to rope you in.
Oh, that's what they do. They ain't gonna tell you nothing. You got to find it out on your own.
And isn't that a perfect metaphor for life, man? Because that rule applies for everyone and everything in life. No one's really gonna tell you unless you ask.
Facts.
Like no matter what.
Somebody gonna come here with a whole bunch of pamphlets saying, "Hey, pick and choose. We got all these options for you." Nah, man. Hey, you got to be invested.
You gotta be invested. We got Dr. B's in the house. What's good? Oh, I got the wrong button queued up. Like, what's good, fam? He's like, yo, I'm in a brief meeting, but I'll be around. You know, I know you always there, bro. You know what I mean? Thanks for being there. That's part of the Fresh and Fit world. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna definitely ask you about that as we progress, bro. Because I want to know if you know anything about it or anything like that. So okay, you did the military, right? You wind up you enlisted for 2. You know what I mean? Good for you. You got the 2-year enlistment. I'm jealous. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, how the hell you do that? You end up staying for 3. You know what I mean? You like you said, you're working out. You're on the boxing team. Like, did you get a lot of? Were you getting ready for the Olympics, or what? How was that even working for you?
So this is how that came about. So I'm at Fort Carson. So most bases, they do the Sergeant Major boxing smokers. So the first boxing smoker that came around, I trained some guys, and 3 of the guys I trained won their weight classes. So then and they would come around every 3 months. So then the next one came around. I was gunning for a guy. I don't remember his name. I just remember he was from South Carolina, and he thought he was the man. He thought he was tough. So I was gunning for this guy. So in that smoker, we missed each other because we were supposed to be in the same weight. But they moved him a weight class. They moved him to 147, and I fought 156. And I got disqualified. I knocked the dude down, and I kicked him. And they disqualified me.
That's that nasty natty coming out of you, boy.
Yeah, you're supposed to for a second, because he hit me. Because when the ref broke us up, he hit me in the mouth during the breakup. So I was a little mad. So I went too far, and it was my fault. Young man. So then the next one, I murdered a competition. So then I get it. Then Fort Carson decided to get a team, and they send out invitations. And at first, my unit didn't even want me to do it. My first sergeant, he wasn't gonna let me. The only reason why I got to do it is because the sergeant major. I was happening to be walking in the motor pool. Sergeant major walks by me and say, "Hey, how's the boxing going?" I was like, "It ain't going." I'm like, "Top ain't gonna let me go," and I'm just answering the question. Next thing you know, I see Top, he cussing me out. Oh, so
Boggs, get over here, Boggs.
Yeah. You're telling people now. Okay, right. Go ahead and go. I hope you get the butt whooped.
Right. That's how the Army works, y'all. I mean, for real. Chain of command ain't no joke. When you get orders, you get orders. It don't matter.
That's a fact. And then I murdered the competition, and I did that until I broke my wrist. And we had one person that was an Olympic alternate, Rubisky, I forget his first name, and we had 3 people that went pro. Jonathan Korn was one. He went pro, and this guy Ramsey, last name was Ramsey, I forget his first name, and we had another guy, I can't remember his name, but we had some slangers and bangers.
Man, y'all had some fighters over there, man. We got Sister Jenny in the house. What's good? Sister Jenny and Brother Williams. Brother William up in here. What's good? He's like, yo, DL, back at it again, man. Y'all got to grind. I'm trying to tell y'all young brothers, it's all about cranking. You know what I mean? Crank. You got to grind. And I learned that before the Army, to be honest with you, but the Army really honed that. So when you saw that lick, and that was a lick, that boxing thing, at that moment, were you thinking like, I'm just gonna parlay this for the next 20 years and fight, or did you have another plan?
Oh no, I always had a long-term vision, and I figured I'd just parlay it. I re-enlisted for 3, so I said I'll just parlay it for these next 3 years, stack some more bread. And then my intention was always to go back and go to school. So when I was in the Army, I wanted to go to North Carolina A&T, but I decided to go to University of Cincinnati because they have a great co-op program, and the engineering school is good. So, and I ended up getting my degree in chemical engineering. And while I was in the college, somebody I was dating got a little pamphlet from the Navy for an officer program. So I was like, oh man, let me check this out. Called it up, did some investigation. I said, you know what, sign me up.
So you're at University of Cincinnati.
Yes.
You're studying engineering, so you're STEM.
Yes, chemical engineering.
Who told you to do that, bro?
Me.
Now, this is something that people don't understand. Especially when they see people who look like us.
Right.
We get stereotyped right away. You know, you this type of person, you that type of person. You and I come from the exact same soil. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, Avondale was rough, but man, what's going on that hill? When no joke over there. Right. So I got bogged down in that shit, bro. But it sounds like to me that you somehow was able to keep your focus, man. How was you able to do that?
I'm gonna be 100 right here. Mr. Spencer, Floyd Spencer, Malik, we was tight growing up. His dad gave me so much game when it came to trying to make it in this life. He taught me about credit as a young man. He talked about business ownership. He talked to me about home ownership. He talked to me about knowing your worth, your self-worth, you know, and how to stand up for yourself in the business world. So in talking to him and Malik, he got his in computer engineering. So, and the reason why I chose chemical engineering, so I was looking up, because, you know, as a young man, I said, okay, I just want to get an undergraduate degree. So at the time, I was looking up to see what undergraduate degree paid the most. And chemical engineering paid the most as an undergraduate degree. So that's why I chose chemical engineering. Plus, I like chemistry. And
you're smart. Like you said, you aced the ASVAB, you know what I mean? Your scores were way up there. I know when people talk to me today in the business world, you know, I clean up nice and I can talk a little bit, but a lot of folks do business with me because they hear the hood. They hear it. I try my best to cover it up, but they still hear it. And that's why they want to do business with me. And I'm like, yo, what's really going on? It's like, we know you a real guy. You made it this far. We want to fuck with you. You know what I mean? Did you experience that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And honestly, I got more respect from senior officers because I wasn't this cookie cutter dude that has been molded by his dad and indoctrinated in this system. I was a real person, you know, and I let my real person shine through at all times, regardless if you like me or dislike me. My thing always, I'm a man first before anything. And senior leadership, they always like that about me.
That's what's up, man. And you know what? I never had a problem with senior leadership at all. I always had trouble with that first line and that second line NCO. Always had trouble. And as a young dude, I didn't know. I didn't care. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, if they take it too far, man, there's a lot of weapons around here. That's how my mind was working. I like, y'all take it too far, accidents will happen. It's a dangerous world, the United States Army, especially the airborne army. You know what I mean? But I was young. You know what I mean? It took me a long time to climb out of that mindset. Dr. B84, little known fact, my dad used to do admissions for West Point back in the day. That's what's up, man. That's fucking hard to get. You know what I mean? That's no little task right there. You know, salute to your peeps. And brother Dusto Scam Likely's in the house. What's good? He's about to go on here in about 10 minutes or so on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Bro, I'm gonna catch the team replay for show on that. But my brother has a master's in chemistry. That's what's up, man. So when you were, so we'll stay on the collegiate before you went back to the military, before the commission.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, you decided because these men who were in the situation we were in saw something in you and shared this information with you young. How old were you when they start, you know what I'm saying, putting you on the game like that?
Man, Mr. Spencer was talking to me probably since I was 12. Once I started delivering papers, I had a paper route at 12. I did that for 2 years. I did CCY at 14. You know, you had to be 14 to do CCY.
Yep.
I did CCY 2 summers, and then I tried to do a telemarketing job last 3 days.
Me too. I ain't about that life, bro. Like
I worked at Riverfront Stadium doing concessions. I did that for like half a summer, and then my last the summer before my senior year, I went on the road with Mr. Spencer because he had his own painting company. He had his own painting business. He would paint restaurants, and we hit Harrisburg, PA, Philly, Baltimore, DC. You know, we were painting. I think there were either Wendy's or KFC's, one or two. And I went on the road with him and his family, and did some painting.
Hard work too. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? There ain't no ease. That's in the sun. You know what I mean? In the cold. You know what I mean? Getting out there trying to deal with it. It's wet. Got to keep things dry and still get the painting done. Trust me, bro. You know what I mean? I know. So at 12. So, and this is another thing too, man. You know, and I don't speak on this too often because it is what it is. But you hear about how, especially black men, but how they say, but men in general, men ain't shit. Black men ain't shit. We're lazy. You know what I mean? They're poor. They ain't nothing but criminals, this, that, and the third. You know, they say that about, you know, they say it about Mexicans. You know what I mean? Disparaging things about everybody who comes up, you know what I mean, from the soil.
Facts.
But there always will be, there always is, and there always will be good men there. You know what I mean? That was a great man right there. And look at where you are now. Had he not been in your life, bro, where you think you would be right now?
I can't even imagine my life without his game. I can't. I really can't.
You know what I mean? So when you hear me say stuff like it takes a village, and when you hear me and Jay Swans talk about, well, we got this platform because we want to help people, that's why.
Facts.
That's why. I don't have to do this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's so many other things where the conversation can be at higher levels, but you take the time to share your knowledge and experience with others so that you can provide perspective. And that's a beautiful thing. And you're the reason why I got in the podcast, the real talk. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, man, you know, I even if I just reach a couple people, that's better than zero.
It's better than zero. It was just one young man, one young woman. If I could just get them to say, and just think, that's a win to me right there, bro. Miss AKA ladies in the house, what's good, love? Welcome. Y'all dealing with two Cincinnati dudes right now. It's about to be, nothing but heat. East and West Side, like, what's up? You know what I mean? So that's just amazing, bro, because I wasn't even thinking of, you know, when I came out of the military and I spent some downtime waiting to get into the FAA, I went to UC as well. And I had to go through like their little they JUCO program and all that kind of stuff just to get up to speed because, again, coming out of Woodward High School, man, I wasn't Camus. I wasn't coming out of the better programs. Like West High, y'all had good programs out there at West High.
Man, hold on. I got to tell you. Now you're talking about high school. So let me tell you how you can transform from being somebody that's just not doing what he's supposed to do to doing what you're supposed to do. So I went to Walnut Hills first. You know, so I was in Walnut Hills from 7th to 10th.
So people who don't know, Walnut Hills to this day is probably one of the best high schools in the state of Ohio. Number one in Ohio, and probably top 10, top 20 in the country.
Yes.
It ain't no joke. You got to test in, and you got to really keep your grades to stay in, and you were there.
Facts. So my 10th grade year, I decided to not do the right things. I stopped going to classes, started doing petty theft, and and they kicked me out.
It's only theft if you get caught, bro.
I didn't get caught, but they knew I was doing something wrong. So like, hey man, you gotta go. So they kicked me out, and I had to go to West High.
That's how you wound up at the West Side. All right.
I wound up at West High. So, but my GPA coming, because you know your GPA only your 9 through 12, even though Walnut Hills is 7 through 12. So my GPA was like a 1 something, because I failed every class my 10th grade year except for gym.
Yeah,
and
okay.
The year before, I had failed ancient and medieval history because I had a teacher that was racist, and she came at me in a way, and me just being a kid not knowing no better, I said, all right, I'm gonna stop coming to your class. I'm gonna show you. Now realizing that I'm hurting myself more than I'm hurting her.
Right. And real talk, that was the plan. There were grown-ups doing that. When we talk about racism, like, why is racism so bad? Because you have grown-ups who are playing that game, and they know I can keep this little boy out of this classroom if I act this certain way. Yes. And how many brothers were lost because of it? That's
a fact. That is a fact.
So, I mean, but you had a trick for them, though.
So I had a trick. Well, they had a trick for me. They kicked me out. Okay, we got something. You go to your neighborhood high school. So, but then when I got to West High, I got back on my stuff, and I took all AP classes, and I got my GPA to like a 2.5. You know, it wasn't the greatest. And
it's better than 1 point, whatever you had.
True. Very true. I mean, and then I was one of those people that I went to summer school every year. I failed English every year. Even the year I graduated, you know, I got, you know, when you go walk, they give you that blank piece of paper. I got the blank piece of paper.
I ain't even walk, bro. I was just like, man, I graduate, good. Gave my grades to the recruiter, man. I was on a bus 30 days later.
Were you? Now, see, I had to wait because I had to go to summer school. And then once I finished summer school, then that's when I left. So I had to go to summer school for English, because one thing about me that was always weird about me, but it makes sense though, now that I'm a grown up, is when I was young, I never wanted to read those novels and do book reports on that stuff, because to me, it didn't add any value to my life. And I always saw it as a form of indoctrination, kind of, in a way, you know, like, and I'm like, I don't want to read this stuff. Like, this stuff isn't going to provide value. I'm going to be a technical guy. I don't care about this stuff. So if I got to go to summer school and hang out in a class in the summer, so be it. But hey, you want a 10-page report? I'm gonna give you 2, and that's gonna be it. And I paid the price, but it was worth it, because I felt I had to be real to myself, even if it meant my grades suffered.
But you know, it just makes the journey harder as we age, as we you know, become wiser. Damn, because I'm sitting here now as we're thinking about this, man. I'm like, all right, you did your time in the military. Okay, I'm gonna go to UC. I know why you wanted to go to A&T, by the way, bro, and I ain't mad at you. I want to be down there too. Man, boy, they still. I think they still got wanted posters down there with my face on it. My man Jay Swan's on there for real. But so you come home after that stint in the military, right? You came home to Cincinnati at a time when it was really jumping the fuck off.
Yes.
You know what I mean? People was really starting to get money.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's when like the legends today were out there earning that legendary status when you came home. How the hell did you avoid that, bro?
Man, I stayed focused, brother. Like, real talk. I had a daughter. My daughter was born January 1997. So, and the thing, so when I first got out, you know, before I started college, I took a job selling cars, and I actually did really, really well doing that. Like, I was making a killing doing that, like a killing. And
because Randy was selling cars about that time. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know Randy had it. Yeah.
You know, that was a good time. I'm telling you, that was a good time to sell cars. And I was selling cars out in Beachmont Ford.
Ooh, and Fords too? Yeah, you was killing it.
So I did that for like 6 months, and like they were surprised that I quit, because, you know, I was making good money, but I was like, hey, I'm going to college, and I'm like, you know, engineering is tough. I'm like, I can't work and go to school. So, you know, I remember the sales manager calling like, "Hey, Bryan, are you coming back?" I'm like, "No, I ain't never coming back, man. Don't worry about me." I said, "Hey, if y'all want some money, send it to me in the mail. If not, hey, man, I wish y'all the best."
Yeah, because that's when they were pounding. That's when they would get cars. That's when salesmen were doing that salesman shit. You know what I mean? I know you ain't a dirty dude, so I know your people was getting good deals, fair deals. But there were guys that were really selling you garbage and just getting money on that. I remember them days.
Yes, and we had some people like that at Beachmont.
Of course you did.
And like for me, I couldn't do that because you got I'm the only black guy at Beachmont Ford. You know what I'm saying? So
they coming to see you once they fit. Yeah,
they double checking my stuff. You know what I'm saying? They might take the word of another person, but mine. Oh, hold on, we need to see. We need to see this. All right, man.
And that was before, that's before you had the VIN checks and all that kind of stuff, man. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? That's when you were really rolling the dice. You know what I mean? So that's cool. Primal Studies is in the house, man, and Brother Quincy's in the house. What's good, y'all? Welcome. Salute to you. Dr. B is back in the house. That's cool. You know what I mean? Brother Quincy. Actually, Brother Quincy was I can't wait to have him because you got a pretty interesting story, man. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about that offline a little bit, but showing love. Good evening to everybody. Good evening to you, bro. And Miss AKA lady, daughters will do something to a man for real. Yeah, to a real man. Children would do something to a man for real. You know what I mean? To a real man. There's some other people who just be like, whatever. You know what I mean? So, all right. And we got Brother Viking in the house as well. What's good, bro? Brother Viking, man, they coming up on that 1 million, bro. They talking about, they're going to start planning it here pretty soon, man. So I hope you can make it to Miami. I'm talking about Fresh and Fit. They're coming up on 1 million subs. They're going to do it pretty. Yeah, look, them boys did that in 2 years. 2 years. They're going to they really blew up. You know what I mean? They're my cats. Y'all know I rock with them. I'm going to be down there for that party. Good to see you, Brother Viking. You again, like also you were selling cars and because you say I was just able to keep my focus. But here's the thing, bro. Like I said, I know we know some of the same folk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of the same folk.
And you know what I mean? You were at home at the time when licks were out there, bro. Licks was out there. You talking about hitting that, 10, 50, 80,000 for 15 minutes worth of you know what?
Right.
And you avoided that.
I had to, man, because I'm a long-term thinker, brother. So I didn't see no long-term worth in it. You might get some short-term gain, but what you gonna do in the long term with it? And
that makes sense.
And I just wasn't worth it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be honest because I believe that statute of limitations has passed, but I did try to dabble in weed. And
that's about to be legal anyway.
But that's about to be legal, yeah. And weed ain't nothing big, you know what I'm saying? It was just a little something. But then that told me like, nah, this ain't you, man. Like, bruh, don't try to get into this kind of lifestyle. This is not you. You gotta hustle and bustle and make your own way.
Yeah, because we were all hustlers. You know what I mean? It was just pick your poison. You know what I mean? My hustle was having mad jobs like you. I was always working, even when I came home from the military, mad jobs. You know what I mean? From Perkins to working. I worked at Provident Bank. I got a part-time job there, man, working in the, they had like the transfer department there. It was when people would do wire transfers. I was working in that department. It was just like me and 5 other people. And actually I was working in there and it gave me an idea for a movie, like like a caper movie, because these people are in the back of the at the time, these people were all in the back in the bank, and I'm sitting there, right. And during the 8-hour business day, and they were all like, they were on a Zulu clock. So it was like the whole world operated on this system and during the same 8-hour time span. And if you knew account numbers and you knew routing numbers, and it's like they had this huge book with all these routing numbers to all these banks all over the place. And we're in Cincinnati sending a lot of money to Zurich. You know what I mean? We're sending a lot of money down to the Caymans back then.
Oh shit.
Yeah, bro. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, bro, if you want to rob a bank, don't hit the tellers. Get back here. And you can sit there and hit, because you had access to everyone's account within that banking system. And I was like,
pen and paper?
Huh?
Did you put pen and paper?
That's number. I got 5 stories out there. and we are working on a story right now, so I got to stay focused on it because Hollywood kind of fucking with us. I'm gonna tell you about it. Hollywood kind of fucking with us on this one, but that's coming. You know what I mean? And people like, oh, someone's gonna steal your idea. You don't have the details.
Exactly.
You don't have the details.
I just gave you just gave them a setting. They don't know nothing about the plot. They don't know nothing about the intricacies of the movement in the movie.
None of that. You don't know the details. So it's coming, but yeah, man. I mean, because I know how I know what I went through, and that while you were doing that, that's when I was fucking with my family on the hill, bro. I know what was going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm just really I'm really shocked, and I'm really like happy that you had that focus back then, because I ain't gonna lie to you, my focus was all over the place. All over the place. I was working on political campaigns during the daytime, and I can't even tell you the shit I was doing at night. You know what I mean? It was just kind of one of the, if I had got caught, it'd have been a problem. He did what? Who? He's with them? It would have been a problem. But we made it through that, man. So all right. You see STEM, you're in there, and then someone hollered at you. You said it was a Navy rep to talk to you?
No, so I was dating a young lady, and she was an electrical engineer, and I was over her house, and she had got a card about the Navy's bachelorette degree completion program. So I was like, so she's like, what you know about this? And I looked at it, and I said, I don't know nothing about this, but you know what? I'm gonna call them. So me, I do research. So I was looking at what type of officer designators they have, what kind of jobs they have for officers. And then I saw one for a supply officer. And the supply officer is like the business manager of the Navy. And I always knew I wanted to go into business for myself eventually. So I figured, man, it'd be kind of smart to manage the Navy's money.
Man, it's a lot of it.
It's a lot of it. And then I'll get good at it. Then I can manage my own. You know what I'm saying? When I step out on my own. So I called them. They paid me. They enlisted me in the Navy as an E3 for 3 years, full benefits, medical, dental, BAH, and separate rats, which is something that I didn't get when I was in the Army. I never got BAH. I never got separate rats.
And you weren't going to get it.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So I got all that. And they paid for my college. So now my Army college fund is coming to my pockets. You know what I'm saying? That's
right.
So
and they're paying 100%, and then you're getting it. Oh wow!
So I'm like, this only makes sense. So that was another reason why I didn't have to do anything, because I was making money in college without a job. You know, like I was making about $70,000 a year back in the day.
Wow, based on the investment you made with the military. Because that's paying you back for the time you did in the Army, and now the Navy. So was that reserve time?
No, that's the killer. It counted as active duty time.
Oh Jesus! So now you're gonna be 8 years of active duty time.
Yes. So by the time I graduate, when you take the 5.5 of active duty Army, I had 2 years in the National Guard when I first got to college, and then my last 3 years, because UC is a 5-year program in engineering. So my last 3 years is active duty time. So I got 10 years, 8.5 of it active. I'm at the halfway point.
Yep. Damn. And again, no one could plan this shit out. This is just you making decisions as you go.
As I go, exactly. Taking the options that are available to me at the time, choosing the one that looked like it would bear the most fruit.
It's critical thinking at its finest right there. Brother Viking, yep, I'll be in Miami this week for 2 weeks. Depending on when the party happens, I may need to fly back. Oh, man, you might just miss that party, bro. I'm telling you, it's going to be stupid. Them boys are talking about renting a mansion. Because, you know, they like to take care of their people, man. They really hate charging for stuff. It's the weirdest thing. It's not weird. They respect their crowd like that, man. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, they had a 500K party down in Miami, man. Was at this one of the spots in South Beach, bro. And man, B, when I tell you, when Myron and Fresh got there, man, they had bottles coming out like a conveyor belt, bro. Wow. Fresh don't even drink like that. He gave me the menu. Was like, hey man, what should I order? Because he don't really drink like that. I'm sitting there like looking at prices, and I'm like, I don't know. He's like, man, don't worry about that. What? I'm like, all right, this, and this, and all that came out. Then Myron showed up. And like 3 times of that came out. You know what I mean? And he don't even drink, but he just wanted to make sure everyone had a good time, man. Shout out to them boys, man. When they do it, they do it. Sister Candace, critical thinking is lack amongst many these days. Absolutely. No one knows how to critical think anymore, man, except for the 1% and those on their way to the 1%. Have yachts and have nots. Shout out to Andrew Tate. The have yachts are critically thinking, y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. The have nots are watching TikTok. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? And we got, oh snap, Miss Globe Girl's in the house. My favorite sailor's in the house. So I always give her a hard time because I'm like, yo, Miss Globe Girl, why do the Navy have their names on their butt? You know what I mean? Now you came from the Army, B, and then went to the Navy. Was you clowning them when you got in there?
I'm gonna be honest. So when I got to the Navy, names on the butt wasn't a thing no more.
It wasn't.
Yeah. You had tags, man.
Just saying, them poor Marines ain't gonna know who they dealing with no more, man. Them names ain't on the butt.
Yeah. Now, you already know because I'm a joke cracker. So now the dungarees they were going out. They were going out. People wasn't wearing them as much anymore.
All right, but Miss Globe Girl's Navy, like I said, that's my favorite sailor. You know what I mean? So shout out to her. Oh. You know what I mean? Candace, Sister Candace, her husband is in the military right now. And Sister Candace, what branch again was it? I think is he Army? I think he's Army. Refresh my memory, please. And Dr. B, Fresh and Fit needs to tell us when the party is so I can book my flight and hotel. If it's in November or December, I can make it depending on the weekend. They said they're gonna start planning it once they reach 970 subscribers. Now I think they're at 950. So as the rate has been going, I especially with this European tour, I think they're gonna hit that 970 probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So definitely by the end of this month, I'm guessing is when they're gonna start planning that out. Y'all just stay tuned. Keep it. Y'all know what it is. And then everybody just showing love. And Sister Candace, like her husband is Navy. So I'm surrounded by all these kind of Navy people. You know what I mean? I got the Faye with me though. That trumps everything. You know what I mean? That trumps everything. You Army, you Navy? Nah, I'm Faye, homie. You know what I mean? Nasty natty up in this piece. You know what I mean? So you made it. You found yourself in a situation. Prior service Army, right? You kept your head down. You stayed out of the nonsense in the streets when you got back home. You have your child, you taking care of business. You were doing good in sales, doing really good in sales, and still was like, nope, that's not the mission. You go to school, University of Cincinnati, and through a friend, you discover a program which basically paid for your school, and now you're making money from the very initial decision to join the United States Army. Bro, that's big ass pimping shit right there, man.
Hey, man, it was. When I think back on it, man, there was some slick, especially like my first year, man. Because in Ohio, National Guard pays your tuition too.
Yes, I did that.
So my first year, when I got into the program, the money that the Ohio National Guard paid to my tuition, because once your tuition's paid off, you get that money back in the refund check. So I got that money back, I was maxed out on Pell Grant, got that. So it was a good time.
Man, you knew how to do it, bro. Because I wound up joining the National Guard, that unit that's on Redden Road, right there by the police department over there, and I guess that's Bond Hill, Avondale border.
I know that you're talking about, yeah.
That's an engineering unit, and okay. I went there. They retrained me as a supply, and I was the armorer. I was the armorer. So they left me alone because, I'm wearing patches on both shoulders, I'm airborne and all that. So just that alone, they all stayed away from me. And I was sitting in the Army. I'm just sitting back there with weapons. It was an easy gig. They paid for school. But then I got hired by the FAA, and then they let me out. They just, returned me to inactive. Say again?
Conditional release.
Conditional release. And boom, right to the FAA. And I finished out the rest of my commitment, inactive ready reserve or whatever that is. But I wasn't getting paid. You sitting around there making 70 stacks, learning.
Yeah.
And then, so you did that. You finished your degree.
Yes.
And but at this time, I'm thinking you're in San Diego.
No, I'm still in Cincinnati. So then when I graduate, I go to OCS in Pensacola. I do that for 13 weeks.
Oh, that's right, because this program guarantees you a commission upon completion.
Right. So you got to go through OCS, and after going through Army basic training, man, Navy OCS was a joke.
And you a boxer? Come on.
Yeah, I laughed the whole time. I had a ball. I mean, I had fun down there in Pensacola. And then from there, I went back to Cincinnati for a couple of months, and then I had to go to Athens, Georgia, which is where Navy Supply Corps School was located. It's in Rhode Island now. So I was in Athens, Georgia for 6 months, learning how to be a supply officer.
And so when you got there as a whatever the equivalent to a second lieutenant is.
Yeah, but ensign.
And so what's that, a 01? You know what I mean? Is that what that is? 01.
Yeah.
So you're down there as a 01. You're an old man with a ton of experience, and they got you down there as a 01 in Georgia, getting paid with all that money in the bank. All right, offline, you can tell me exactly what you was getting into down there, because I already know. I already know, bro. So, okay, and then what happens after that?
So then after that, once I get through BQC, basic qualification course, I got a choice of where I want. Give them 3 options of where you want to go, and for me, it was Mayport, San Diego, or Japan. And San Diego came up. That's how I got here. Never been to San Diego. When I came to San Diego one time with some other people that were in the program. We had came out here to meet a bunch of black LDOs that were at North Island. They were just like giving us some guidance, and it was a real cool experience. And LDO is limited duty officer. All right. These are people that
a warrant officer in the Army.
No, not like a warrant officer. So a limited duty officer, there's someone that they were enlisted. They didn't have a degree, but they applied to become a officer. So a limited duty officer, they can't command a ship or an installation, but they can be a technical expert.
Okay, and because that's what the warrant officer was initially in the Army.
Yes. So
you would be a warrant officer, but you're a pilot. So you carry the rank of captain, but you can never be in command or lieutenant or a major, whatever. And then they kind of changed that. When I was in, they made it to where warrant officer can actually take command. Oh, and it was like, well, yeah. So it's like, well, why even have a warrant officer? And if you might as well just make him an officer. You know what I mean?
That don't make any sense.
No.
A warrant officer being able to take command, like he's supposed to be a subject matter expert. So exactly.
Go figure. But and I don't know that was back in the 90s. I don't know if they're still doing it that way, but it was like, you're a warrant officer. Why are you in command, sir? Exactly. He's like, I don't know. Y'all go do some stuff. I see you back here at 1800. So you're doing that. So what was the commitment to the Navy? Like, how much time did you have to commit with this program?
I only had a 4-year requirement. I had a 4-year obligation, which the 4 years went fast. I was on USS Bonhomme Richard. She's decommissioned now. She caught fire, real bad fire. You probably seen in the news the young man who he beat his court martial. They found him not guilty. But so I was on that ship, and that was a great ship. I loved being on that ship. It was cool. And I did 3 years on that, and then I went to Japan.
And that was it. So when you're doing this,
I came back to San Diego, did my department head tour on the USS Thatch. And after my department head tour, I went and got my master's from Naval Postgraduate School, got my master's in acquisition and contract management, got an MBA. And then I came back to San Diego, did one more tour at a Military Sea Lift Command as the Director of Logistics, Combat Logistics Force Officer. And then I retired out of there.
Bro, that's crazy. Like I said, you couldn't design that up. That one you didn't draw up on the board. That was, we're going to go and see how this goes. Yeah. That's crazy. Full retirement as an officer.
Yes.
Wow. So, all right. So at what point during this process, I guess it must have been a learning process, did you start to think, okay, I'm starting to think next level now? Start thinking beyond the military, because I know, because I want to transition into, your business world and like where are you going with that?
Okay. So for me, I started thinking what I was going to do next when I left the Army.
Okay.
When I left the Army, and then when I decided to take the Navy route, the Navy officer route, I picked my job specifically based upon what I envisioned myself doing in the future. And everything I did, every job I took while I was in the Navy, and most projects that I worked on were always with the long-term goal of what I'm going to do when I'm done with this thing.
So there was no floating around. Like everything you do, you thought it through. All right, this is going to help me. That's not, I'm doing this.
Yes. Once I was determined I was going to get commissioned, everything I did was on purpose.
Damn. And this is a guy coming out of the same place I came out of Cincinnati, because I thought my stuff through, but I ain't going to lie to you, man. I had a lot of Mr. Magoo luck. Right? I got a lot of Mr. Magoo luck. You know what I mean?
Lucky than good, brother.
Bro, it's like I'm about to walk off the cliff, and then all of a sudden here comes that little thing, the little elevator, catch me at the right time. You know what I mean? Because I'm just wilding the hell out. But I still I planned it out in like big picture plan. Like, you know, those little kid puzzles, they get the big pieces. Yours is like the little 15,000 piece puzzle. You just putting it together. Mine was like the big piece. I put it in there and it worked out for you know what I mean? It's like, okay. You know what I mean? And it's just amazing to hear this story, because all these years we've never had a chance to just sit down and have this talk.
We haven't. And that's why I was excited to have this conversation, man, because I always wanted to share this. I wanted to hear your story. I want to share my story with you, because there's always motivation in hearing people's stories. You never know what you can pick up and can hold and utilize from another person's story.
Boy.
You know, something in time might happen, and then you'll remember, I remember my boy told me this. Okay, I know how to navigate this. Yes,
because you came to San Diego. I was in L.A.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm in LA, and like our people like, yo, you know, be out there. I'm like, word? You know what I mean? So we got to, you know what I mean, kicking a little bit, but even then we was doing bad boy shit. We was in the streets having fun, legal. You know what I mean? We wasn't into that kind of mischief, but we were just having a good time on Sunset. You know what I mean? Back when Sunset was popping, when Jay-Z was talking about bubbling in Dublins, that's where we were. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's good time. Man, so Miss Globe Girl, Navy is where all the money resides. Yeah, Navy and the Air Force. You ain't never lied about that, sis. You know what I mean? Miss AKA Lady, shout out to NAS Pensacola. I reckon I ain't never been there. But Miss Globe Girl, Navy has warrant officers also. Okay, I didn't know that. And Brother Mike's in the house. What's good, Brother Mike? You know what I'm saying? Thanks for shooting through, bro. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Make sure you get down to Miami for that 1 million party, Brother Mike, man. We got to have a drink, man. Look forward to meeting you in real life, not this YouTube world. Me and this man know each other. Real life. You know what I mean? Real life. So, man, that's what's up, man. So, okay, then you retire. So, when it's time to retire, man, you're 2 years from retirement. What was the plan?
So, here's where my plan had to, I had plans, then I had contingency plans, then things just changed. So for me, once I decided I was going to retire, it was actually suggested to me by a friend of mine. He was like, hey man, I got this job. I'm creating it for you.
Okay.
Know, it's director of logistics. When I ain't gonna say command, I don't want to get nobody in no trouble.
Right.
You know, this is yours. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, it was a really good job. You know, really high on the GS scale. And so I retired and I took it. But then I had an unfortunate event happen, and my security clearance got revoked. So they had to rescind the offers. So I had to go work with a contractor for like 6 months while I got my security clearance back. And once I got my security clearance back, and I like working with the contractor. I did an analysis of alternatives for a new Navy logistics system. So like currently the Navy uses like 15 to 18 different systems for all logistics purposes, whether it's food, parts, retail, maintenance, whatever it is, ammunition. And they were looking to try to come up with a one-stop solution. So I was on that team. I was with CSA, Client Solutions Architects. We had the RAND Corporation doing the data mining, and NAV Sub WSS. No, I'm sorry, BSC, Business Support Center. So we did that. That was a real cool opportunity where I got to work with a lot of different people in the industry. And then when I got my security clearance back, I went and took the government job. I did that for 2 years. And then I had some strategic, meetings, I'll say, where I met some really good people that were willing to put me in position to forge my own way, which I always wanted to forge my own way, which is the reason why I got my MBA in acquisition and contract management. So once I put all the wickets in place and stacked up all my Legos properly, I left and never looked back.
And never look back, man. And, that's fire right there, bro. Like, that's fire. And here's the thing. None of this ever would have happened if you weren't willing to leave Cincinnati in 1991. Why do you think so many people, especially people who look like us, people with our backgrounds, are afraid to leave? Because on the hill, man, there's dudes up there ain't never left the state. And Kentucky right across the river.
That's true. I'm going to tell you, man, I think one of the biggest things is comfort. Some people, I'm not going to say all people, but some people, they get so caught up in wanting to be comfortable that they don't leave that comfort zone. But the only way you can grow is to be uncomfortable. So, and fear.
Yeah, and fear. And it's funny you say that, man. I find myself keep referring to Fresh and Fit, but Myron Gaines of Fresh and Fit says that all the time. Like, as a man, you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes.
And he says it all the time. Now, Myron, go ahead.
No, I'll just say that's how I live. You were talking. Yeah. I was just saying that.
So, Myron Gaines is big into real estate, bro. What's your take on that?
I'm starting to make my entrance into real estate.
Right, because
I'm starting to be a player in it. So
now, and what's the draw for you into real estate? Obviously, everyone wants to make money, but we're all right, especially given where we came from. All money that you're making, anything that you do from this point forward, is it necessarily for you? So, I mean, why are you doing this?
So the reason why I'm doing it is I always remember how my life started, growing up in poverty, lots of struggle, hard times. And if I can help the future generations of my bloodline to not have to endure that, I would like to do that.
So it's for legacy.
Yes.
It's for legacy. And that's the reason I look at it. Everything I look at now when I'm looking at the future, okay, what am I going to do? What am I doing? It's not for me.
Facts.
This platform's not for me. It's fun. I enjoy it, but it's not for me. You know what I mean? Any moves I may make down the road, it's not for me. You know what I mean? And it's like you said, man, I remember it. Like now, and I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Some of the best times I can recall in my life is when we had nothing. You know what I mean? We always made something out of nothing, and we had a good time. But flying business class is way better than riding Greyhound.
You ain't never lied about that. Hey, and you're right. Like, do I regret my childhood? I love my childhood. I learned a lot. It gave me the drive that I have. I'm who I am because of what I have been through. On the flip side of that coin, though, that does not mean that everybody survives going through those things. I mean, we both have friends that are no longer here.
That's it. Shout out to Smile.
You know, because, you know, when you're in that cycle of poverty, it really puts you in that position of struggle. When people struggling, ain't no telling how they're going to act with you or the people you love.
They're not in their right mind state.
Right.
You know what I mean? Things that happen when people are struggling, man. I mean, you know, everyone's responsible for their own actions, but I understand why some people do what they have done.
Me too.
You know what I mean? And then you put me in that situation. I can't say that I wouldn't have done the same thing. You know what I mean? So, man, I truly get it. And again, I look back at that all the time. Because, I mean, I look at that, and like, it's one of the things my father used to always say to me. He's like, by the grace of God, go I, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And it's like, but I'm like, man, I was right there. Like I said, Mr. Magoo, bro. Mr. Magoo. You know what I mean? That was me.
Yeah.
That was me 100%. Brother Michael, he's saying facts. You know what I mean? Myron got that from King Riches. It's critical, right? Sister Candace, your guest laugh is infectious. Yes, it is. LOL. You know what I mean? Yes, it is. Well, I love being around the brother. You cannot be mad around B. I'm here to tell you. I don't care where you at. Care where you at. You hear that laugh, like, all right, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Sister Candace, she's like, great conversation, by the way. These conversations needs to be had, man. I want to help as many people as I can, but y'all know the emphasis is really, I'm trying to help young dudes become young men. I really am. And in the process, I think we can help sisters as well. You know what I mean? And that brings me to my next thing. You know what I mean? We'll circle back to real estate in our next conversation where we'll have more information. We'll actually be able to talk about what we've been doing.
I'm already doing some stuff, brother.
I know you are. I know.
Hey, I'm moving them chess pieces, baby.
Bro, you mean big chess pieces, man. You got to pick them big ones up. Yeah, I'm moving the little ones. You out there like, quit playing, bro. You better get on up here.
As long as you're moving them, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters, man. Because yeah. Well, gotta save a little something for the next one. I'm already thinking ahead. You know what I mean? Already. But so are you familiar with the term manosphere or RP, red pill? Are you familiar with these terms?
I have heard them.
Yeah. So what's your take on that? Because I know you got a lot going on. I don't see this as something that's on your radar. I fell into the space, and that's why I'm a part of it. I fell into it, and I'm like, I look, you stand up and you like look around, like, what the hell? What y'all doing down here? Where are we? And I just kind of learn, and I'm like, oh yeah, we need to talk, fellas. So what's your take on the manosphere? So
on the manosphere, I would say an adherent, but I'm really I'm a real independent thinker. So I don't allow other people to dictate how I think or other concepts. But I think it has tremendous value. I really do.
Word? Tremendous value. In what way?
In what way? Because on the red pill, blue pill thing, it's a lot of people. And when I say a lot of people, I'm just talking about a lot of people that I know. I can't say a lot of people in the world because I only know so many people.
Right. As cool as we is, we only know so many.
I only know so many people. So the people that I know, people I have experienced in life, it's a lot of brothers sleep at the wheel still.
Yeah. And my big thing is, and what I think about that world and what's going on is because there's a lack of male leadership, effective male leadership. Mm-hmm. And on the other end of that, there are these guys who are asleep at the wheel and they are seeking some sort of leadership, man. So what you know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on that?
And the reason why I chose the term "sleep at the wheel" is because I personally believe that once a man knows, he will lead. I firmly believe that that's what we're supposed to do. When a man has a family, he's supposed to lead his family. When he has kids, he's supposed to lead his kids. But I think when they don't know no better, they can't do a good job of leading. So leadership is definitely needed, and it's funny because you got all these people that profess to be leaders, but they just as lost sometimes. So
more so.
Yeah.
More so. Like, I mean, it's just and they see licks. I mean, it encompasses everything.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the horrific, all of it's boiled up into this thing. You talk about blind leading the blind.
Yes.
And I step into the space and I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? I'm looking at this, I'm hearing these things. All right. So the biggest thing in the manosphere is, you got these guys who they really just want a woman. That's what it boils down to. And I'm in that space. I'm listening to these guys and I'm watching how they move and I'm listening to what they say, how they dress, how they act. And now, I'm hearing them and they're saying all this stuff. And I'm like, you will never get a woman acting like that, bro. But then they'll turn to me and be like, well, that's easy for you to say. You were Chad, you were Tyrone, you were this, you were that. And all these terms is basically, I'm like, so you saying I have confidence. You saying I'm fearless in the sense that I'll go up to another human being that happens to be of the female species. You know what I mean? Where I'm male species, she's female. And I don't have a problem striking up a conversation. I'm not a weirdo, right? And that's like a magic trick to you. But I had to, and I was like, you know what? Let me sit back and really listen to these brothers, and let me listen to their struggles. Let me see, what's really going on here. And that's what it boils down to. I'm making up numbers here, but I would guarantee you 60 or 70% of the guys in the manosphere would leave tomorrow if they had a woman. Not like, you know what I mean? Not like a dime, not like, no, just a woman in their life, any girl.
With a set of boobs. And
Gone. And be happy.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Be happy. And I ain't mad at them because you think about it. Look, think about back in the day.
Okay.
The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, they all had wives, right? Society was set up in such a way that everyone would get someone to grow old with. You know what I mean? Like, the families might force it or whatever, like, arrange it. And then it got to a point where, people knew where they were. All right, I'm a 5. She's a 5. We gonna talk. I already know the 10s ain't looking at me. You know what I mean? All the way down to a 6, maybe. You know what I mean? But we gonna talk. But now it's all skewed. And there's a huge chunk of men who simply don't get attention from females. And it's like you said, they don't know that they should be leaders. There was no one in their space that taught them how to lead. Think about it, the Boy Scouts, that's gone. You know what I mean? Like when you go play like sports, Pop Warner and all that, that's all rigged a certain way. It ain't the coaches, you know what I mean? It's like the parents and all that kind of stuff. These poor guys are sitting there playing video games and watching YouTube. They have no idea how to communicate with other people, especially women. Did you see that coming up? Because we saw that in the military.
So this is something that I find peculiar just about life. Because like in the manosphere, you say 60-70% of them would leave if they had a woman. But then if you think, I don't know what the female version of it is, but when I hear all them, you got the male empowerment, male thing, and then you got the woman empowerment with women thing. And to me, it sounds like a bunch of lonely people just trying to find love somewhere. So they finding it amongst the people that have similar interests, just like the stuff we saw in the military, like gamers hang with gamers, these people hang with these people, and everybody's looking for love, preferably the opposite sex, but if they can't get from the opposite sex, all right, I'm gonna get with a brother and we're gonna talk bad about the women.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, dude, and like, because you said, like, I don't know what the women are doing. Like the women, like almost all the women they're gunning for the top guys, and that, and therein lies the problem, right? So you got like people like, coming out of Avondale, coming out of the Faye, right? I tell people on this platform all the time, two things about Cincinnati dudes, real Midwest dudes in general. Two things you need to know about Midwest dudes. First, they know how to talk to women. Second, they nice with their hands. Now, I ain't as nice as this man right here. You know what I mean? He got all that boxing background. I ain't, I fight dirty. You know what I mean? But those are the two things. So, yeah, exactly. We'll leave it there. You know what I mean? Like, we'll leave it there. But those were the two things growing up. Like, dudes knew how to holler. And women would say, like, these dudes know how to holler. And it had nothing to do with us. It had nothing to do with money. It had nothing to do with status. It had nothing to do with height. This whole 6 feet, 6 figures, 6-pack stuff. What? I gotta be tall and I gotta be fit. No, you don't. Don't be fat, sloppy dudes I know to be just slaying Foxy Brown back home, getting them.
Facts.
Getting them. Short dudes, getting them. Nah, that is.
You ain't never lied about that, man. I don't know how many times I done seen it. I done saw a dude complain about a dude that he thought wasn't attractive with a fine chin. I'm like, man, how you get hurt? Like,
by not saying stupid shit like that.
Exactly. Like, you know what? Maybe we should go be nice to him and learn something, because apparently you don't know what to do.
You don't know what to do. And that's where we are right now. So women are going to want what they want, right? They're gonna want the best. I get that. But they're emotional, and if you know how to talk to them, you can peel them off. Dudes don't know how to do that. And now families aren't putting them together. We're not in, look at the workplace has changed. So you're not in the office environment. No more of this dude hook me up. You remember that? Hey man, who's your friend? Hook me up. That's you know what I mean? Like my Caucasian bros out there, they was doing it. But not even just the white people, like that social stratus. Right. White, black, Asian, doesn't matter. Them boys out of the suburbs. Man, hook me up. They would just attach themselves to a dude that was good with women, and they would get, you know what I mean? They would ride the wave.
Exactly. They were like the fish that swim real close to the shark.
Yes. Yes. They eating too. But all that's changed because everyone's doing this now. Everyone's on the computer. No one's going outside anymore, right? So, and the manosphere is in a state of flux, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so for those who will listen to me, I tell them, like, bro, it ain't that hard, man. It really ain't. Gotta go up there and say, you gotta say hi, man. You know what I mean? They go up there and be like, try to say something smooth, what's up, and all this. I didn't say that, bro. I said, say hi. You know what I mean? I got to be Cyrano. I got to whisper in your ear.
The biggest thing is, don't be afraid of rejection. Because that's what stops most men from going to talk to a woman. He's scared he's going to get rejected. He's going to look like a fool in front of all these people. Like, man, stop worrying about what other people thinking.
Boy. And you know what? We never had that problem because we didn't have it like that growing up. So we had to go out the house looking crazy with the leftover clothes and this and that. You know what I mean? So I don't care what nobody think because I already been through this.
Exactly. I used to glue my shoes together.
Hey, man, you telling on yourself, bro. Yeah, I told y'all about them Faye dudes gluing this shoe together. Otherwise, they'd be like talking. That should be talking. I've been there. And this is like when I'm seeing this, and then there's the money aspect, man. There's a lot of money to be made off these dudes in the manosphere. Like, it's money to be made off of everybody. I mean, women, men, whatever. But these dudes are eager to pay big bread. They're looking for cheat codes. But I'm like, look, man, we can sit down and talk, man, and I can show you how to move. What's been successful for me, and maybe that can be some of use to you. I'm not really trying to charge you for that, but there are plenty of guys who will. You know what I mean? They had this whole pickup artistry thing, which, all right, I get it. It works. The pickup artistry stuff, yeah, it works, but you're not gonna have anything long term.
Right.
And that's what do these guys want? They want someone to come home to. Right. And like these women are like, I could do bad by myself. Okay. So you're doing good by yourself now because you shooting for something that don't want you. So, but he'll gladly blow your back out. You know what I'm saying? And send you on your way. Run along.
Exactly.
And they get mad. So, and then, so that's where it is with the manosphere, man. Bro, it is what it is. I ain't gonna lie. I met some good guys. I see some good cats, man. Some young dudes. I'm trying to help them out. So you're doing really good, man. business wise, man. You want to talk about that? Like just everything you're doing right now?
I'll talk about a little bit, because I try not to talk about too much stuff, because then I don't want to sabotage anything, things that haven't turned all the way. So the things that have turned already, I'll talk on those. So one of the things.
Let's talk real broad, real broad.
So I'm opening a franchise in Houston. I'll be opening my doors in 13 days. So I'm excited about that. I got a contracting company, moving forth with that, kicking a little bit of butt. And
you said contract or what kind of company?
So government contracting.
Okay. Oh yes, that's right. Yeah. Because you have that tie through your career.
I told you everything was on purpose, man.
Wow. Okay. So you got all right. So you're doing that. We know we've already touched on real estate a little bit. You're dabbling in that. You got your two businesses. You got your franchise. You got your contracting company. Anything else you kind of?
Hey, I got a couple of. I got a Schoolie Mitchell franchise that I got some people working, and but the biggest thing that I'm moving now, out. So the government contracting, that one is real big, and it requires a lot of time. But the one I'm really trying to shift focus to is really into real estate. So, I got me a multifamily, about to get another multifamily. So, and I'm about to transition into the commercial side of it.
Okay. So, and how long this is new to you, right? This is something new that you're kind of just getting into?
Oh, yeah, man. You know me, I'm moving at the speed of now. I got my first one in June. I'm about to close my second one.
Bro, listen. So here's the thing. So you have these things going on. The contracting thing that's your primary, you're getting into real estate. You have an existing franchise, a couple of them.
Yeah.
Right? Dude, you sound fearless. I mean, there has to be some financial risk involved here, but you seem so calm. Why is that?
Here's the deal, man. If you are worried about what can go wrong, you can never take advantage of what goes right.
Damn, you got to say that again.
If you're too concerned about what can go wrong, you can never take advantage of what goes right. So there's a book I've read a couple times, Tools of Titans. It's a bunch of interviews with different people in, world-class athletes, billionaires, tech giants, some everything. And when there was a part in there where they said, think of if you want to do something, think about the worst thing that could happen. And if you think about what the worst thing that could happen is, a lot of times you really find out that the worst really ain't that bad. And then 98% of the time, the worst thing never happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, do I have some financial risk? Of course. But I've set myself up in a way where I'm not going broke. If everything failed, I'm not going broke. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, man.
So I could take the risk.
I mean, they say, man, scared money don't make none, right? So if you ain't in the game, you ain't in the games. And so you set yourself up in a way that, okay, if worst case scenario, I'm not living on the street. I'm not back in the Faye. You know what I mean? In a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom townhouse fighting roaches all night.
Right.
You still good.
Worst case scenario, I'm still great.
Oh, great. That is good. Yeah. Great.
Worst case scenario, I'm still great. Because also what I set myself up in a manner where I'm able to take advantage of protections that are inscribed in the law.
Now I'm with you. All right. And you know what? That's something that people don't think about until it's reactionary. They never really plan for it.
Right.
Things go wrong and then they start scouring around trying to figure stuff out. You've taken the time to look at, let me look at this all the way through to the end.
Yeah.
Okay, I can go this route and I'll be able to protect my assets in this. Down the third, I'm going to have to do it this way. Okay, I'm going to have to incorporate, or I'm going to have to, okay, maybe an S Corp. Okay, maybe a C Corp. Okay, maybe an LLC. So you looked at all that.
Yes.
And would you say it's worth it to invest in a great attorney?
I'm going to tell you this. What's even better is find a friend that's an attorney.
There you go. Get that friend discount. Just come over for dinner, man. Have a couple drinks and have a look.
I want to talk to you about some things, man. I want to bend your ear.
Yeah, have a look at this. And that's funny because one of my closest dudes, man, Perry Davis, Cincinnati High, you know what I mean? Remember, Perry Davis, one of my real good friends, travel buddy, man. And you don't want to take advantage of friends, but when you are friends, you're gonna talk like me and you talk. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah, man, do this, do that. You know what I mean? You got to you need to take full advantage of your network.
Facts. And here's the thing: if you're friends, there should be no issue in the sharing of information. I'm not asking for money. I'm asking to share information. And if you're friends, that should not be a problem. If it is a problem, you're not friends.
You're not friends. And that's real talk. You know what I mean? Perry came out of Avondale too. You know what I mean? Made a really good life for himself. Again, another brilliant man, another brother. You know what I mean? Got his head right. What do you say to those brothers? And we know who they are. I mean, we ain't naming names or nothing like that, but the type of brother that just refuses to leave the hood, that refuses to clean it up. You know what I mean? How did you deal with that? Did you just, I'm going to tell you what, I just had to cut them off.
That's what I did.
That's what you did?
That's the same thing. Here's the thing, man. Every man has the right to live his life as he sees fit. And just because I see life different does not mean that the way I see life is better. So who am I to tell somebody what's the best life they can have for themselves? So if you want to continue to live in an impoverished area and struggle and not do better, hey, if you're happy, I'm happy for you. I just can't be over there with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is where our journey in life parts ways.
Right. All right, because I don't feel so bad. I never, like I said, I never really felt bad. And that's another thing too. Now, and I say this to folks all the time, is, again, back to that point of being afraid to leave. You cannot be afraid to go. You cannot be afraid to make decisions. I learned this in the Army, man. And it was, and I tell this, I'm going to start telling this to people. The 4 words, the 4 scariest words I ever heard in my life was, "What are your orders?" And as an officer, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
In serving. Shit goes bad, it's getting crazy. You know what I mean? Everything's batshit crazy, man. The defecation is all over the oscillator, and they turn to you. What are your orders? Once you get past that, I think you can do anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Facts. And I want to add something else to that part. Like, not only don't be afraid to leave where you're at if you want to do better, or if you want different. I ain't gonna say better. Let me say different. If you want different, but also you can't be afraid to let relationships die.
Damn, that's real talk. And we're not talking about not just romantic. We're talking business.
Hey,
all relationships,
people, friends. I'm like, my philosophy. Like, look at your circle of friends, and that will determine where you're going. So you'll see whether or not you got inspiration or if you got depression.
That's what's up, man. And Andrew Tate always says, man, you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang with. So your top 5 people that you spend time with, you are the sum of those people. So if you hanging out with no-gooders, villains, how you gonna be Mr. Big? How you gonna be a cool dude if you hanging out with people who are cutthroat?
Exactly.
If you hanging out with people who are lazy, how you gonna be a go-getter? Man,
and
bro.
And for me, like, like my two best friends growing up, like I don't even really talk to them. There's no love lost. You know, if I see them, it's nothing but love. But I don't really talk to them because like my life journey was going in a direction that theirs wasn't. So I could do two things. I could try to keep what we had and not go on my journey.
Right.
Or I could go on my journey and like, look, man, hey, if you ever get on the car, you come past this road and I see you, hey man, I invite you in for a meal and everything. But if you gotta keep going though.
You gotta keep going. Because the difference is this, right? You're sitting in San Diego building your legacy, building your kingdom, right? You could just as easily be sitting back there on President, bro, or back at the Iraqi shop.
Exactly.
It's that easy. It's that close. I tell folks all the time, it's that close. You know what I mean? People like, yeah. Yep. You know what I mean? So, man, that's crazy, bro. And you just can't drag people along, man. If you're capable to walk, you got to walk. In fact, you got to run to keep up with me.
Hey, same here, man. Like me, I still to this day, man. I talk to people, like my little brother. He does things a little more difficult than he should, and I just okay, well, and he gets mad at me when I say, hey, man, you got to regulate your life as you see fit. Man, I hate when you say that. Hey, man, it's your life. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me talking about you want to do this and do that and do this, but you doing this and that. Like you can't say you want to be a millionaire, but you wasting all your money as soon as it hits your bank account. Like if your bank account stay on zero, how are you gonna become a millionaire? That don't make sense.
You're not gonna have the money to make the moves when the time comes.
Exactly.
When the time comes, man, that's what's up, bro. Yo, we've been talking for an hour and a half, man. We could go for like another 5 hours, bro. Just chopping it up, just catching up. I want to bring you back on this platform, man, but I want to bring us back with a straight topic. You know what I mean? Okay. I would definitely want to catch up with, get a report on how everything is going. We could like touch notes, take notes on each other. But I also want to get us on here and let's get a topic, man. I think because I didn't get to ask you about politics. So I want to bring you back. I want to talk about politics, bro.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a real short conversation.
Word. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Politics weaves its way into everything. Like there's the politics that we're all thinking about, like just our, national politics, but there's family politics. There's, corporate politics, right? There's entrepreneur politics. I want to get into all that street politics. You know what I mean? I want to get into how, because we had to maneuver around that. I know you had to maneuver around that. The Navy politics.
I know how to politic. I'm a firm believer in the saying, war is politics with bloodshed, and politics is war without bloodshed.
Wow. And then that'd be the end of it, huh? We'd be moving on to something else. But how about them Bengals? I guess I don't know. We gonna go to the end. Exactly. But yeah, let's bring it back, man. Let's definitely bring it back. And I know you want to tell people where they can find you, man. Or before we even do that, you have any last thoughts, and then we'll go into where people can find you.
I say one last little tidbit of information I like to share. Like, since we originally had this on, having the courage to leave where you start, the one piece of information I would love everybody to know is that life will give you what you go after. You just don't be afraid to go after it, but don't do things haphazardly. Think it through. Think about what the worst that could happen. Make sure you can handle the worst. The worst seldom ever happens. And you'll end up somewhere down the road, because even if you don't win right then, you'll learn a lesson to help you win down the road. But the only way that starts is having the courage to make the move to go after what you really want. Because sometimes when you stay where you've always been, people have a outdated image of you. They see you through a prism of the past. And we're always changing and evolving in the way we think and in the way we move. And you can't let another person's vision of you determine how you operate.
Man, that's what's up, bro. And it's like I normally play with my soundboard a lot, but in this conversation I didn't have to because this was just real talk. But there's one button I do want to hit, man. And I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan, man. He has a movie out there. One of his gangster movies is called Rock and Roller.
I love that movie.
Yes. So here's my favorite soundbite from Rock and Roller, and I use it all the time, brother.
Think tank, Arch. Nothing gets past the old think tank. Nothing.
And I use that button so much, I think the button's going to break, man, because I'm always telling people, put it in the old think tank.
Yep.
Hey, nothing gets past the old think tank. And that goes to what you were saying, plan it all out and everything, man. Damn, we gotta do another show. We're gonna have to do a show where we just gonna have some fun too, bro. Cause I be wilding out. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Hey, you know me, man. Hey, I'm West Side. Hey,
exactly. Exactly. I might be asking too much. I'm like, oh yeah, man, don't you bringing B over here? Oh shit. That's how it should be, man. So where can people find you?
Oh yeah, hey, so I can be found on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Deconflicted Podcast. Just search Deconflicted, and you'll be able to see our discussions. And we have real world conversations. You know, we did one on toxic femininity. I thought that one went really, really well. Well, I think all of them go well personally, but that one really, really touched. And we had women on there, so people didn't think we were women bashing because we're not women bashers. But you know, YouTube, TikTok are the main ones. Instagram as well.
That's what's up. Deconflicted Podcast. Go over there, subscribe, check him out. They're also on Instagram under that, or no?
Yes. Yeah, we're on Instagram.
Instagram, check him out. Go support. Brother Williams, he was saying, speaking as a licensed journeyman electrician, I had to embrace traveling and change from my comfort zone constantly. It's in the name journeyman. Absolutely. Absolutely facts. And then, you know, the chat was talking about real estate and the importance of real estate, and that's how you're really going to get that wealth. I'm sorry, y'all, I didn't get a chance to hit all of the chats like I normally do, man. I want the conversation to flow. I hope y'all got something out of it, man. I really do. B, man, thank you so much, brother Bryan Boggs, man. Thank you so much for doing the show, man. That's for you, bro. And
thank you for having me, brother. Real talk, man. Like you know where you stand with me. You know, one solid brother. You know, brother in arms. A brother in life and a brother in love. So anytime.
Hey, Zom, I owe you a bottle of what did you buy 1942? We got to come out there to San Diego, man. We owe you a bottle. Your money ain't gonna be no good when we come out there, bro.
Oh, hey, come on, man. You know, if you come out here, man, I got the hook up on most stuff. So
well, we paying. Even if it's a hookup, so we paying the hookup. You gonna keep your money in your pocket, and we gonna pull out our money because you know what I'm saying. I want some points too. You know what I mean?
It's all about the points, baby.
It's all about the points, baby. You know what I mean? Brother Michael Metalstruck, what's good? Shout out DL, Uncle Saint. Shout out to you, brother. Sister Candace, thank you so much. Have a good evening, gentlemen. Have a good evening, all. Thank y'all so much for coming. Thanks for rocking with me, man. That's Bryan Boggs. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast, man. I will talk to y'all later.
Darn, that's the end.